Last time on Square Roots, Yuri busts out of jail, Estelize gets a nickname, and we're all made uncomfortable by Rapide's tail ring. Later, we meet a little boy in the woods and fail to ask about his parents or take away his sharp objects. Real stand-up job, anime teens!
And welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. My name is Jim Banks. I am joined, soon to be joined by Matthew Van Zandt. He's running a little bit late. Also joined by John Rago Brandon.
Rago?
Rago.
Rago?
Ragu.
Ragu? Oh, yes.
Yes. He's in the game.
He's the magistrate.
He's a guy.
And he sucks.
Yeah. Also joined by Vanessa.
Hello. I'm Vanessa.
And this is a podcast where we play and talk about your favorite classic RPGs one chunker at a time. And we're playing Tales of Vesperia. Yeah. Yay, right? Yay.
Jim.
Yay.
Jim, you weren't here last time.
I was not.
So I'd like to ask you 2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
Question 1. What is your history with this game?
I have never played this game before, nor have I ever played a Tales game. Ever.
Oh, so you're saying that you're new to this?
Yeah. No, newbie. A real noob.
Yeah, it's fresh.
Sure.
It's the first time that your eyes are seeing Tales of Vesperia.
I've probably seen the cover art before. I've seen characters.
All right, that's all I had to ask about that. Second question, how are you playing this game?
I'm playing it on the PS5, and it looks amazing on the PS5.
It does. I'm playing it on the PS5 too.
It looks incredible.
And no load times. It's great.
Yeah, it is great. The only thing, it feels like the buttons during combat could be more responsive, but maybe I'm just not timing stuff right. Maybe.
Yeah, I definitely noticed, blocking, you have to be, it's not one of those things where when they swing at you, you hold down block, because when you try that, it's too late. You have to be holding block before they start swinging at you because it's such a long animation.
Yeah.
That isn't a PlayStation thing. That's just a game design thing. It's a little slow paced, or a little slow to react.
I think it's meant to give you more opportunity to do a move because some of those the burst. Are we saying arts or artists? What do they say?
I say arts.
Arts, okay. The burst arts, I can't really figure out the timing for. So maybe it's to make that easier. I don't know. I am playing it on easy, so. But before we get too far into Tales, let's talk about how we leveled up. Oh wait, we have hot game news. I have some hot game news to deliver.
Oh, I'd like to hear it.
I feel like this is better placed here than in the level up, but a game came out last Thursday night that I played through and really loved, and it was called the Dark Pictures Anthology House of Ashes.
I also really enjoyed you playing through that. It's one of my favorite things that you do, especially and perhaps specifically because it allows me to razz all of your choices and mistakes as if I could do a better job.
Some of your criticisms were warranted because I shouldn't have tried to quiet that guy so enthusiastically in House of Ashes when I was playing and in fact this past weekend I played through all of the Dark Pictures Anthology games, almost entirely on stream, and some of my choices were questionable in retrospect.
Yeah, when the man was yelling at you, stop doing that, you're killing him, and you kept doing it, and said that you had to because the button prompt said that you had to.
Yeah,
you did not have to.
That's true. I did not. And I accidentally shot someone in Little Hope, which was a bummer because that was my only character. No, I had one more character death at the end. It was almost my only character death.
Right. You did shoot someone after making fun of me for making Johnny throw the gun away during his playthrough of it because I was convinced that he would accidentally shoot someone.
And that's exactly what happened. Yeah, so that was fun. Any other hot game news?
Did you see the trailer for the next Dark Pictures anthology?
Oh, I did. The next one is called The Devil in Me. It's going to be the final, I guess, like game in the Dark Pictures anthology, season 1. And they did also announce, or I guess they didn't announce anything. They registered a trademark for something called Dark Picture. I think it's called Dark Pictures Switchback, which people are speculating is season 2. So that's exciting.
You know what I would really like, but I don't think is going to happen?
What?
I was watching that Devil in Me trailer, and I was like, what if the curator was a character in the next game?
Oh, that would be cool.
But it's not going to happen.
What happens if they get not Peter Sarsgaard? Who's the guy?
Peter Stormare?
Yeah.
Yeah, Peter Stormare. I would welcome Peter Stormare. I think he would be more fun than the curator, honestly.
Frankly, I would also welcome Peter Sarsgaard. I love that guy.
I like Peter Sarsgaard too. Wait, is it Sarsgaard? He's not a Scar. He's a Sarsgaard, not a Skarsgård, right?
He's not Alexander Skarsgård's brother.
Or Stellan Skarsgård's son.
Correct, which would make him Alexander's brother.
I think I knew that.
Yeah, Alexander is Stellan's son, and he is brother to that scary clown.
Yeah, the Pennywise guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But so he's not that, but he's not. He's not. Sarsgaard not related.
Correct.
Anybody else have any HGN or hot game news?
Gaming news. Yeah, I'm starting a little low energy. I just ate a burrito while podcasting, so you're welcome, Matthew. I don't think there's been any like super interesting releases out this week. Although I did well, that's more of a level up thing, so we'll wait on that.
Okay, why don't we just get into level up? You just want to level
Yeah,
up? Why don't you just
wait?
level up? Yeah.
Let's
All right.
go.
Yeah. You. Yes, you.
You, Johnny.
Well, I kind of went to the garage, and the next day, you know when you wake up after going to the garage, and you wake up the next day, and you're like, oh, I guess I got intoxicated last night.
No, I don't have a garage.
Okay. And then you look on your Wii U and your 3DS and see you bought $100 worth of virtual console games.
What did you buy?
Metroid Zero Mission, Metroid Fusion, Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, which is cool because it's a DS game that's on Wii U, and I've never played the Wii U Virtual Console DS games before. So they're neat because you can split the screens. So the bottom screen is on your gamepad, and then the top screen is on your TV.
That's interesting.
But I don't know if DS games were ever meant to be that big on a TV. The Legend of Zelda Minish Cap, The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass, The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages, The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons, Shining Force Game Gear, Sword of Hope, the Castlevania Advance Collection for Nintendo Switch, which is pretty cool. I don't know if you ever played any of those, like Circle the Moon and all that. They're like action RPGs. They're the Metroidvania ones.
Oh.
With like
you got a lot of games for.
Well, yeah, because I mean,
a lot of
like,
bang for your buck.
Yeah, for sure. And there's a couple more, I think, but I'm a little spacing on them. But it's basically like I'd made wish lists of all the sort of like action RPGs and stuff I'd been wanting to get, and the Metroid games and all that. So I certainly have a lot to play now. So that's good. And I also ended up playing an hour of Okami for some reason. I think I just really want to do that on the show. I just think it's such a great game and would be a very nice fit for the show because it's so strange and beautiful and fun.
I've never played it.
It is strange and beautiful and fun, but I don't know if it's an RPG.
It's as much an RPG as Fable or the other one, Zelda.
I can agree that it's as much an RPG as Zelda.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's much less an RPG than Fable.
I can't remember what happens in Fable.
You're lucky Matt's not on here. Talking about Fable.
Well, I think that'll maybe it'll come up in the 2022. It's up to you.
2022, it's up to you. We'll play anything.
That vote will be games that technically aren't RPG vote.
Yeah. I'm going to nominate Uncharted 2.
Yeah,
Metal Gear.
I think we should all submit, a certain number of games, enough games to get us through the year and to vote on, but one of them is definitely not an RPG. Yeah. And then when we pick them out randomly, it'll be fun to see what we pull out.
Well, I think that I'd like maybe with the help of listeners come up with like 6 or 7 fun categories for the year. Like not
that's
an RPG,
a good idea.
Very bad RPGs.
Yeah.
Super grindy JRPG. Like an old RPG.
Super cool Vanessa style Western RPG.
Exactly. And so then we can pick stuff sort of within a frame, because I think that'll help. Especially, I know Vanessa was a little nervous about coming up with 8 different games to play.
I think that might help. Think of 8 games, like not just limited to RPGs total. I can think of maybe 6 games.
And 4 of them are Uncharted.
4 of them are Uncharted.
So what are these 6
One of them
games?
is Dishonored. One of them is Tales of Vesperia. And the other one is Tetris.
So you're thinking of 4 Uncharted games. I'm trying to think of which Uncharted games are you not thinking
The first one. The first one doesn't count, and you also add in Lost Legacy.
Okay, so you skipped Golden Compass or whatever that one.
Yeah, that was that a PSP. Oh, Vita. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't count either.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, otherwise, I played Watch Dogs. Vanessa saw that I'm very good at that game, like a crack operator.
So good.
I did role play as because you know how it's like anyone can be a member of DedSec in that game. So it's like I was really role playing it as if people aren't very good at being spies, or hackers or whatever. So there was a lot of trying to stop the police from attacking people and then actually getting injured and taken to the hospital because I attacked the police or getting arrested.
Yeah, the goal of the game, which I just picked up from watching Johnny, is to get all of the members of this activist group arrested or injured. And Johnny did a great job.
Mm-hmm. And Vanessa did give me the goal of finding her a perfect Vanessa boyfriend, and she then realized the futility of this because I was unable to, even with a crack squad of experts.
Yeah, and that's the story of my dating life. Even with a crack squad of experts. Can't find me a boyfriend.
Is this a Kathy comic now?
Chocolate.
I've been wanting to talk about Breath of the Wild because I've been playing that. But it seems like every time I remember to talk about that, Matthew is not here. Because he's the person who really wants to talk about that. I've been rewatching Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I'm in the middle of season 2. There's some great songs in that season. Although I think my favorite is still Friendtopia. Oh, that one where they're both wrong and they put on like 80s diva singer mullets was really good.
My favorite is the one about a urinary tract infection.
Is that season 1? That's season 1. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a OG Greg song.
Yeah, OG Greg is so much better than weird child Greg.
I love OG Greg.
Weird child Greg's just way too young.
He's like a weird child.
Yeah.
He's a little babby.
15 years younger, I think, than the actor who played... Because I think the actor who played... No, I think old Greg is still younger than me. Damn it. I think he was born like 81. All right. Vanessa, how did you level up?
Everybody's talking about it, and I did it. I saw Dune.
Did you like it?
Yeah. I didn't necessarily want to. I have nothing against Dune. I just feel like it's so precious, you know? Like, people love it so much, and they're like, oh, here's my precious little book. Why don't you sit down and I'll tell you about the House of Atreides and the worms of Gathwar and and as much as I like that stuff, and I do like that stuff, I don't like people to know that I like that stuff. I have an image to maintain. So whereas my friends on this podcast can tell that I'm wearing a Star Wars tank top and a robe that has cats dressed as scary clowns and skulls on it, I want the listener at home to think that I'm wearing a suit jacket and a nice Calvin Klein blouse. So I was resistant. Well, I wasn't resistant. I watched it. I didn't think I'd like it. I did like it. It was clearer than the 1984 film, although I have been watching a little bit of a fan edit of that film, the 1984 version, that makes it more palatable. And I thought everyone did a good job. I had never seen that little Timothée Chalamet in a movie, except for something where he was like 15 or something like that. So I thought he did a good job. I was impressed.
Yeah, I also saw it and also liked it. I think my only criticism of it would be like it felt like, I don't know, everybody was always like emoting the same. It was everyone was very dour. I guess it was a serious sci-fi movie, but like, I don't know, it felt like it kind of put me like a dimension removed from it in a way, because everyone was acting so weird.
There was no comedic relief. It was all sort of at one stress level the whole time.
Yeah, and it felt like you were just waiting for the next thing to happen. Like there was no real forward thrust to the plot. Things just kept happening to the main characters. So, but it was a great movie. Like I feel like every time I see a Villanueva movie, I see something that that makes me think to myself, oh, I've never seen that in a movie before. And I definitely saw that in Dune.
Yeah, I liked it. I was missing Sting in his bizarre underwear. I think that this movie could have stood to have a Sting-like figure in bizarre underwear. Wonder who that would be. Maybe Harry Styles would be a good choice.
Yeah, the movie could have been more sexy.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, what's up with that?
What's up with that? It sort of had this burgeoning love story, but it was not really addressed at all in the first film. There's just sort of a hint that it's going to happen. So, yeah, more romance, a little bit more comedy. We just need to punch up Dune, make it a little bit more like a Marvel movie, you know, something I can eat some popcorn with. I don't want to think about things. I don't want to think about the Bene Gesserit or the Cuisac Shaddy Shack. I just want to have a good time and see some worms.
Yeah.
I've also been watching a show called Only Murders in the Building.
Oh,
on the Hulu.
I've heard that.
I like it very much, yeah. It's Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez. and they're all very good, and it's a quirky, fun show with a lot of cameos by theater actors. And I love the theater, and the theater loves me, Jim. How did you level up?
Let's see. He's not here right now to corroborate this level up, but I was visited by my good friend Matthew Van Zandt this past weekend.
And without his cooperation, it could be a lie. I don't know.
It could just be making it up. He's not here to refute me. But he came to visit me in Dallas-Fort Worth, and we hung out and had good times. We did some Twitch streams. We configured a nice, comfortable living room couch stream setup, which was fun. He was actually in town for a family thing, so he did his family thing. We went and saw Dune together in some nice, comfy recliners in a pretty empty theater. And it was just a good time. Good time with good buds.
His brother came out too, right?
Oh, yeah. His brother was also here. Got to meet, or not meet, I've met Matthew's brother several times. Got to see Matthew's brother. It was fun. And then, like I said earlier, in the hot gaming news section, played House of Ashes and thought it was radical.
I liked hearing you two hang out over the Twitch. It did make me sad not to be there with you. And I think that as soon as possible, the four of us do need to have a video game weekend party, spring break 2022. It's up to you.
I think that's an amazing idea. I support that. Mm-hmm. Keep on the lookout for that record-breaking Twitch stream.
We're all going to make a partner that weekend.
Yeah, that's going to break the internet.
Mm-hmm. Dead.
I forgot. Speaking of cat toys, I forgot to tell you my cat-related level up.
Oh, well, let's do it now. We haven't officially transitioned into the next segment yet,
So, there's these feeders, because I was looking at getting an active feeder for a cat, which is basically you don't put stuff in a bowl, you put it in some kind of toy. There's some that are like, you put them in a bunch of pegs, you put treats in a peg, so she has to work on, like, using her paws to get the treats out. It's basically to slow down scarfing.
Okay.
So I got these ones. They're like hunter feeders. So there's these mouth-shaped containers that you fill with her kibble, and you're supposed to like hide them around the house. So she goes and looks for them, and then like shakes them around to get the kibble out, because there's like this little dispenser, and you can adjust the difficulty from like super easy, where almost all the kibble comes out, to pretty hard, where like one piece comes out every time she tussles it. And I wouldn't say it's a disaster, but there is a little guide that says this might be more difficult for some cats than for other cats. And I would say I think my cat's on that lower end of the curve.
How long has she been trying to use it?
Well, I would say she is not trying to use it. She's trying not to use it very deliberately. Like the first day, where I filled all the little kid things with her regular kibble instead of putting it in a bowl. She got so upset she hid from me from the entire day. Like, I think she thought that I was like torturing her or teasing her or something. She hated it. So I don't want her to do that. So I've decided just for now to give her treats instead of her main meal that way. Mm-hmm. And she's just not wanting it. She's not invested in it. She's like not batting. Like, I'm sort of, once or twice I've seen her bat at it too. Like, the most I can do is shake it a bit so some of the treats come out, and then put the mouse on top of it. And she will sometimes push the mouse over to get at the treats that are on the floor. That seems to be the extent of her engagement with the toy.
So you would say that she is definitely more lazy than gluttonous.
Yes. She's not motivated by smell. She's motivated by me feeding her and her just putting her face into a bowl and scarfing it. I'm still going to keep trying with the treats for a couple of weeks, but if it doesn't work, I might just give this to someone who has a better cat.
A better cat.
Yeah.
Better
Be
cat.
judgy.
Just a
I'm a little
different cat.
judgy about how. I mean, plus my cat just is turning 10, so maybe she's just a little set in her ways, and I'm suddenly coming in here and changing the way she engages with food. Because what? Because she eats too fast and eats too much. Well, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, if I took your delicious Taco Bell burrito and I hid it somewhere in your room instead of just like letting you have it and eat it, you would probably be pretty cross with me.
Well, but I haven't even got anywhere near the hiding part because I needed her to know how to get the food out before I start hiding it.
All right, well, suppose I put it in like a Japanese puzzle box.
But the puzzle would are you saying so it would be on a curve where it would be slightly harder because I'm smarter than my cat?
Yeah, I'm not going to give you a cat level puzzle to solve where you
Okay.
just have to bat.
Is it going to be like an
something with your
Earthbound
hand.
level puzzle where I have to use the door opener to open a
Yeah.
door? Okay.
It's going to be a Sierra game level puzzle where you have
Oh,
to collect
no.
3 objects in order to.
And 2 of them are hidden behind objects and
2
you
of them are
cannot see
hidden.
them.
They don't seem as if they'd ever go together to form a hook, but they do. And then you can hook your burrito out of the hole that I've placed it in.
Or starve to death.
Or starve.
Wow. Okay, I sort of see what you're getting at. Anyway, so that's my Porky cat training story. I'll give you an update and see if she's... I think she understands how it works. I think she's just refusing to do it. That is my guess. Anyway, who's in the mood for a Wonderlog?
I'm in the mood for a Wonderlog.
I have been in the mood for, let's say, about a minute.
Oh, well, that's good. And after Og, you're my Wonderlog. Is that a joke
Really?
anyone's done before?
I don't think so.
No.
But I don't know if you want to introduce that song into this episode.
Why is that?
I don't know. Like, it's just a feeling.
Oh, okay. So one thing that I want to cover before we get into the game proper, because it was a huge, what would you call that, omission from last week?
Mm-hmm.
That's Cumore.
What?
Cumore.
Is that how you pronounce his name?
They do
And-
say it, but I don't remember.
Oh, they say his name.
Because
I'm not
it's
paying
all...
attention.
Whoa, what happened to the picture? There was
I was
a picture.
trying to move it to make it more convenient for you. I didn't know if you'd seen it. I'll put it up here at the top.
All right.
Cumore?
That's Cumore.
Cumore.
I think it is Cumore. I just like saying that's Cumore. So, I don't know. Call me... I want to say, and this might be really out of left field, but I feel like he might be queer-coded?
Johnny, I think that's ridiculous. You meet a young woman in the Noble District who talks about Cumore and discusses how he's a great knight. She has a huge crush on him. And
That checks
then
out.
we do meet him. We see him from behind first. He has a long red and pink cape with a sort of cutout of, say, like 2 kind of ovals with a point at the bottom.
A heart?
It is a heart. Okay, it's a heart cut out
heart.
on the back of his cape. And when he turns, he also has a heart cut out on his chest.
A little
He
peekaboo
has-
window for his
Yeah, a
pectorals.
peekaboo window for his pectorals. He has purple lipstick, heavy eyeliner.
Oh, wow. This fan art is wonderful that Vanessa saw. We'll get to that in a second.
And a little purple cod piece.
I wouldn't say it's a little purple codpiece.
Yeah, a reasonable size.
Yeah, it's not like an oversized codpiece, but it's definitely... And I like that it's over his pants. Like, well, I guess that's codpieces are, but it's just like very there. Like it's a conversation piece.
I guess if you want to have a conversation about it.
Yep. And he does have that kind of aesthetic that you see in some other JRPG villains where he's like, oh boys, we're gonna have to take him back to the castle.
Mm-hmm. Back to the dungeon with you.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think maybe, just maybe, he might be a little queer-coded.
I guess I can see where you're coming from, but I don't know. I just don't think we know enough about him yet.
Oh, I didn't notice his cape. I see what you're saying about his cape. That's not a heart.
What is it?
It is. It's a heart.
Go look at the second picture in the thing, Jim.
I see that, but what do you think it is?
Testicles and a penis?
That is.
Well, it'd be very
That's
thin
only
penis.
because his cape is split in two, and it's sort of fanned open in that particular picture.
That's like that penis being represented there looks like a needle.
Yeah, that's true.
It's narrow.
Although, the heart and the testicles are not unrelated.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Insofar as symbology goes.
Right.
True.
Yeah, so maybe, just maybe, he might be like a little tiny bit queer-coded.
Yeah.
But he only sort of shows up for a second to lecture LeBlanc and Osobuco and Avacon about how bad they are at capturing him.
Mm-hmm.
At capturing Yuri. So I feel like he's going to come back just like that Sephiroth guy.
I hope so. I'd like to see more of him. I don't mind him.
He's pretty fun. Yeah, so that is just what I wanted to catch up on. So if you remember before, last time, as Vanessa said, there was trees and dogs, healing trees, everyone's happy. Flynn had headed off to Aspio, or no, that's where, what was the name of the Mordio?
Mordio. He's looking for a mage named Mordio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and Mordio's over in Aspio. So you head over to Aspio.
Aspio is the city that, like, when they talk about it before they get there, they say it's like in the shadow of a mountain, and it's a place where lots of scholars reside.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also like
never sees the sun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It seems to be like a active dig site as well. Like it's this underground city looking thing. It's pretty neat. I like the design of it. You get there and it's all mysterious, like it's in a cave, and there's all these ornate buildings. The music's like all, JRPG sort of dungeony music with like lots of chimey sort of ding doom ding doom ding,
Yeah.
and
Like any
bells and
underground like JRPG city.
Yeah. It's great. I like the music a lot. I would put it here, but that'll get us a Spotify strike or a YouTube strike or a Facebook strike because you can't share anything anymore.
Dang.
Yep, you can't share anything anymore. Not in this era of social distancing.
Nope. So the guards are like real helpful, right, Vanessa? As guards are.
The guards are doing their job, and I don't think that they should be admonished for that. They are not allowing anyone into the city who does not have a passport. And guess what? We don't got one.
We don't got one.
But
But like, all we
don't
have to
got
do
one.
is just go to the left and get in. Well, I guess Carol does break in. Before we get there, though, like, is this the first time we encounter Wonderchef?
I
Yes.
believe so.
Okay.
And you mean this innocent looking daikon? I think it's a daikon.
Yeah.
It's not innocent looking. It's very big, and it's wiggling around on the ground.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so we do interact with it, and it transforms into Wonderchef.
Wonderchef. Wow. Every time Wonderchef appears in this game, I clap like the mom from Arrested Development whenever she sees, what's his name? Gene Parmesan. I'm so delighted by Wonderchef.
He's great. He dresses as a chef, and he has a very large skillet.
Yeah, he's like
a golden.
Yeah, big, huge golden skillet that like takes up his entire back. And he teaches you recipes for free and gives you stuff. I don't understand how the cooking stuff in this game works. I'm just going to put that out there. So I have not used, while I've found multiple Wonder Chefs so far in my playthrough, I have not cooked a thing yet.
That's nice.
Yeah, so the game sort of says that you want to cook to learn new recipes, but I don't think that's how it works.
Like, I tried to have Yuri cook something once that I got from Wonderchef, and it said I failed.
Yeah.
You can fail. You should have different characters try to cook different things, because sometimes a particular character won't be inspired by a sandwich, but another one will be like, oh, a sandwich, that inspires me to make an egg roll.
Oh, really? Okay, I haven't got the inspiration yet.
Yeah, me either. I'll try that.
I cooked, and also basically it gives you bonuses for the next fight. So like the sandwich will give you plus 10% HP for the entire fight, while the Salisbury steak will give you an attack bonus. So it's pretty useful for boss fights and stuff to have a little preparation beforehand.
Interesting.
So you just have to remember to have it. I've definitely noticed, like, so far Yuri's been bad at cooking everything. I don't know. He seems to have the highest failure rate, him and Rapide. No, with Rapide, everything I make just turns into dog food.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I haven't seen. I want to inspire someone to make egg rolls. Do you remember who made egg rolls?
No.
Well, maybe I'll look it up. I think it's okay to look that up. It's one of those like super obscure JRPG mechanics that you probably won't get just by trying trial and error.
I don't see egg roll in this list I'm looking at, but I see Scottish egg and crepe. And
It was an example.
Well, I want to look because John really wanted to cook some egg rolls. So
yeah. My mom used to make Scotch eggs all the time. It's like basically like a hamburger, but with an egg inside. Like a cooked egg.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it's not bad. So, friends, we're like, the guards are like, yeah, you can't get in here. But they do let something slip. They say to our lovely friend Estelle, she's like, oh, can I go see Flynn? And they say, well, sorry, Flynn's really busy right now. And you can't see him. And she's like, oh, so Flynn is here. And he's like, what? Who's Flynn? And you ask about Mordio. And they're like, well, I don't have anything to do with Mordio. Why would I know him? Or no, why would I know Mordio? And they get very like spooked by the idea of being associated with Mordio or talking to Mordio.
In retrospect, I don't understand this. Maybe we can table this and talk about this.
Yeah, as soon as we get introduced to Mordio, we can talk about why they have an aversion to being associated with Mordio. Because I agree. So you go around the side, and then around the side is a door, and it's also locked. And Yuri's like, ugh. A locked door. Well, there's no way to get past this. And as I like this, as he's talking to Estelle about it, you see Carol in the background just like picking the lock. There's some really good sight gags in this game that I quite appreciate. Like very good anime style sight gags. So yeah, Carol's like, oh, it's open. And
to Estelle's horror.
Yes, she does not like the idea that you broke in because that is against the law, and she's very by the book. She would be what you would call a lawful good character. Well, Yuri's more chaotic good.
And Carol is true evil.
So Carol does. Well, I think he was just trying to impress Yuri, and doesn't really consider the ramifications of it. So he lets you in, and you get inside, and it's just the back entrance to this big. I was gonna say bookstore, but that's not right. That's not what
like
that
a
place
library.
is called.
Yeah.
It's a library. It's not a Barnes and Noble.
Mm-mm.
It's the kind of place where you can't talk loud. Although there are people like selling stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
I've been synthesizing a lot of things. I've been synthesizing
Me
new
too.
weapons for everyone. That's been pretty fun. You talk to the village person next to the store, and he always gives you like synthesis ideas or like what we should be making. He's wearing. It's the construction worker village person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's
like,
cool.
I'm probably halfway through the game, and I have never sold an inventory item. What I'll do, like I've been keeping everything, and then when I get to a new town, I buy like the next, up the next level versions of weapons and armor for my characters, and then I'll go through and synthesize the highest version of everything that I can.
Yeah.
And I can just keep doing that without selling anything, and like I always have enough to synthesize.
Yeah.
Which is super cool.
Yeah, I think so too. There's also a very good inn that is called, like, I think it's called the Bookshelf Inn.
Yes, it
And
sure
it
is.
just sells
Sleeping on
you
a
a
bookshelf.
space on the bookshelf to sleep on.
I do wish they'd shown a little like vignette of everyone sleeping on different shelves.
I think in this game too, and I didn't know this until recently, but I think it's a good idea to like stay at every inn in every town, because I think certain things in the game, not necessarily core plot related, but side things, are initiated during inn stays
Oh, interesting.
at new towns. So
Interesting.
oh, so maybe keep that in mind.
Toot toot. Root, toot, toot.
So we wander around the town. We ask about this mage. Everyone's like, I don't have anything to do with them. They live in a gross shack.
And it's not even it's a pretty nice shack, except it's only one side of a shack.
It's a pretty cool place to live, if I'm being honest.
So you get there, no one's there. So you're like, well, yeah. And Estelle, at first Yuri starts looking around, and Estelle's like, hello? Is anyone here? We're letting ourselves in. And Estelle was very upset that Carol again did his thing, picking the lock.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like that dynamic.
Yeah.
She is upset because she feels like we're breaking the law, and she's very apologetic. And but they keep looking around until at one point, I think because Carol sees a Blastia or something, a Blastia core. She does pop out of her pile of books and does say, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And they're like, everyone turns and stares because Mordio, not the hooded villain they thought they were looking for, but kind of a young woman.
Yeah. She's quite ill, and she has kind of a Luca vibe to her, wouldn't you say?
She does,
She got
I would say
goggles.
so. She's got goggles. She likes to throw fireballs.
She
Their
has a little
outfits are
pixie
similarly
haircut.
colored. Yeah.
She has a red and black outfit.
Mm-hmm.
And she is very upset that you broke into her house. She gets further upset when Yuri accuses her of being a thief. And she does not care for you at all. So she says that she thinks that the real thief might have gone to these ruins where a bunch of mages have gone to dig up Blastia cores. And she says that she is going to go with you to prove her innocence, and we have no choice in the matter.
So you follow her, or you go to Aspio to see her, or you to find this mage. It's not. Where did we get the name Mordo?
I think that's the name that the mage gave who fixed the fountain.
Oh, okay.
stole the Blastia core.
And it turns out, I think they mention in Hulur that Flynn left with a mage named Mordio, or mentioned a mage named Mordio in Aspio, right? Mm-hmm. Because you ask that mage, you ask Rita about Flynn, and she says, "Oh yeah, that like goody two shoes guy, he left." Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And she thinks that he might have gone to these ruins as well.
That is right.
You
once
really aren't
again,
hitting that eye in ruins. It's like runes.
Ruins. Ruins. The ruins. The Shakos ruins.
Is that part of the regional accent of the part of the United States which is clouded in mystery that Vanessa is from?
Mm-hmm. It's part of my 1930s New England accent, as popularized by Katharine Hepburn.
Oh, like I thought she had like that transatlantic thing.
That's what I meant to say, transatlantic.
Oh.
When you said, what you described, Vanessa, made me think of a Maine accent, which is like, don't touch my Blastia. that's a Maine accent.
Classic Maine quote.
Yeah.
Don't touch my Blastia. No, I sort of talk like this, don't you know? Don't I? So we head to the ruins. These ruins are very ruinful. I don't really know what to say about them. There's not a lot to them. We are given by Rita the Sorcerer's Ring, which allows us to shoot a little ball of light that has various effects on some objects in the world and can also stun approaching enemies.
Pew,
so that's
pew, pew,
pretty
pew.
useful. Although its range is very limited, and it's difficult for me to figure out exactly which direction to shoot it in.
Oh my gosh, me too. And it's very difficult to determine how far I need to be from an enemy before I can shoot it. Mm-hmm. And even after you upgrade it doesn't feel like anything changes.
No.
Yeah.
So maybe more of a good in theory, not in practice kind of item. But it does allow us to activate some switches.
Yeah. It's like it's just another way to interact with what's around you in a way that lets people talk about Blastia even more.
People love talking about that Blastia.
They love talking about Blastia.
So we make our way down to the bottom of the ruins, and there we find another mage, dressed in the sort of classic white mage outfit. Mm-hmm. And he sort of monologues at us a little bit about how we're never going to get away. And he activates this big derelict kind of robot.
Yeah, it's like a big guy, big robot guy.
It's a big guy.
Can I talk about that scene? Because I really like this scene. So you find this big robot guy, and we've activated a couple accidentally, like going through the dungeon. Little smaller versions of this that are like they're a bit like those.
What do they call them?
I don't know, but they're like these automatons with big shield arms, and they sort of put their arms together like a shield. They're golems sort of deal.
Golems, that's what they call them. Golems.
And these. So when you find this big one, which has the biggest stone dick, like. You all noticed this, right?
Yeah, I did notice this.
Like
I didn't notice this.
A giant stone wiener that's just like jutting out there.
Oh, golly.
Yeah. And so you've got this thing and everyone's analyzing. They're like, wow, there's something about this. It's just so prominent. Like, she's... Rita is just very obsessed with it, just looking around. And meanwhile, Yuri's like, "Oh, I think your friend is back." And you see, like one of her colleagues from Aspio, and you see a little sneaky mage in the corner, like peeking out behind columns. And she's like, and they realize that's the one. That's the guy who stole the Blastia. It wasn't Rita after all, because Rita's been, trying to assert her innocence, and she says that this whole trip is to prove her innocence, but she does seem to have ulterior motives because she's not the nicest person, and boy does she hate Carol.
Oh, hey guys.
Hates Carol. Yeah.
Who's your favorite character so far?
Rita is kind of Natsuki. Is that who I'm thinking of from?
Yes. Yeah, it is.
Of the anime tropes, she's like the feisty, mean one. And then you've got, I think, Sayori. The Sayori type is Estelle, the like quiet, nice one who just wants everyone to get along.
Mm-hmm.
Or do you think that Estelle's more of a Yuri or a Sayori?
He didn't ask you to describe the characters. He asked you which one is your favorite.
I said, which one is your favorite?
But I like putting them in the context of Doki Doki Panic.
Yuri is Yuri.
Or Yuri's not Yuri.
Not like personality wise, but like looks wise, they both have like long purple hair.
Jim, I'm so glad you said that because I had to deal last episode with them telling me that he had black hair.
Black hair?
Black hair.
It is not black.
It is.
You find a wanted poster in this thing that describes him as having black hair.
That wanted poster, they just couldn't find the purple crayon.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that amazing wanted poster too.
Now, there's that poster, but there's another written description, and it says "man with black hair."
No way.
Way.
She's right, but also he has purple hair.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jim, I'm so glad to have you on the show.
Yeah, the guy's hair is purple. It's purple as heck.
It's obviously purple. I'm not crazy. I literally am a color expert / professional. So
that's true. John has that color clout.
He does have color clout.
Mm-hmm. So let's move on. Let's see. So far, I'm gonna say Rapide, obviously, by a long shot. What about you?
I told this to Matthew when he was here visiting. It's my opinion that Rapide should talk.
I like how he just
speak
goes
like another guy. I think he would, because he's kind of, I don't know, he's kind of forgettable to me. He's always just hanging out to the side of all the rest of the characters.
And also, could you, instead of ever saying my opinion, could you always say in my opinionation, like the theme to Blossom?
And can you say it in that voice, like, in my opinionation?
No. Say it in your normal voice.
In my opinionation.
Okay, so my favorite character thus far is Carol. He's a fun little kid with a funny big bag and uses a big giant sword or a big giant axe, and I think that's
have
neat.
we talked about how jealous I am of his messenger bag? Like, I want
a cool
that bag.
Wait till you upgrade that thing to the large or the extra large bag.
What, you can upgrade it?
Yeah, you can upgrade all their little accessories. Each character has one little accessory that you can upgrade. Like Rita has her book that's strapped to her back. Mm-hmm. Estelle has a buckler shield that's on her arm. Mm-hmm. Yuri has his hand wraps. Rapide has his collar.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you can upgrade them. You can synthesize upgrades for them, and they usually will increase their hit points or their attack or something like that.
Well,
let them learn new abilities. Like the next upgrade for Rita's first book is the Hydronymos book, and it teaches you lots of water magic.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
My favorite character is Rita. I find her very relatable. She is the smartest, and she doesn't suffer fools. And that's just like me.
You're a real Natsuki, Vanessa.
I beg your pardon.
I'm afraid you'll have to listen to our bonus episode out now on Doki Doki Panic to get the reference.
Doki Doki Literature Club.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Available to patrons only.
Available
That's right.
to patrons only.
Also, our Halloween bonus or scare root. Well, I'd call this a scare roots. We're talking about a horror game. It's not an RPG. Scare roots. For the first time, Vanessa, have you ever been on a scare roots?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Which one?
Edith Finch.
Oh, that was a scare roots. Was that a scare roots or just a bonus?
It was a scare. Well, we labeled it as a scary because she was like,
okay,
it's the other. It's not the horror kind of scary. It's more the
psychological.
Like, yeah,
it was
adult
scary.
Fear.
Name a scarier game.
Which is the same as Doki Doki. I'd say that's more of a psychological horror game.
Soma's more body horror, but I find that scarier than psychological.
Soma, to me, is like existential horror. It's terrifying what they do to characters in that game.
Yeah.
I also talked about Until Dawn. Was that a scare roots?
Oh, Until Dawn was a definite scare roots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. Sure.
I would love to do a House of Ashes bonus if and when you guys play it.
I think we could do a House of Ashes /
Oh, we should do a House of Ashes like live stream, like a YouTube stream. That would be fun as heck.
And we could do a bonus, I think, on both
but John is
two
playing,
of those games.
Yeah, for sure.
On Little Hope and House of Ashes? Yeah.
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 Because there's definitely we have stuff to talk about with Little Hope.
I know. I was telling Matt,
Mm-hmm.
like, it felt good to get closure on Little Hope after we were unable to complete our first stream, but man, what a disappointment and a half.
Did we talk about Man of Medan? We must have, right?
I know John and I played it on stream, but I don't know that we like did an episode. Maybe not.
Bye. I love Man of Medan. What a great game.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun replaying it.
Did you do the whole thing?
I played the first half. Matt played the second.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so we fight this golem with apparently the giant penis, which I was not aware of. Oh, here's a picture of it.
It's there.
I don't see it.
It's hard to see. I couldn't find a good screenshot, but like it's kind of pronounced.
That's the lighting. That's not something
no, it
jutting
definitely
out.
that bottom part of his abdomen extends beyond his thighs, like into his thigh gap.
All right.
That's a dong.
Okay. Well, we fight him. Did you have trouble with this fight?
No,
Jim?
it was easy.
Yeah, same with me.
Mm-hmm.
And we chased down the thief who ran away.
Not sitting there. I don't care.
But it's warm.
We chase down this thief, and the thief tells us that he was hired to steal the Blastia by the Bloodhound Gang.
Ooh.
Not the Bloodhound Gang.
You got the
They're
crime.
the
We
Blood
got
Alliance.
the time. We're the Bloodhound Gang. Boop, boop. Sorry,
All right,
what were they actually
Blood
called?
Alliance.
The Blood Alliance, right?
Oh, and they're one of the
Guilds.
Guilds.
The 6 like mega guilds or whatever.
Mega Guild. Mega Guild. I was very excited in one of the next towns to find out that one of the guilds seems to be full of beefy boys. So
Oh, Beefy Guild.
beefy guild.
Carol seems to know all about guilds. Like, he's a real guild expert.
Well, he tells you that he's in a guild. He's in the Monster Hunter Guild or whatever.
Right, but he also knows about every other guild, it seems.
Yeah, that's true. He's a little guild encyclopedia.
He's a little guild fan. He's a little guild fanboy is what he is.
He is, yeah. Guild nerd.
Mm-hmm. So we decide to just head on back to Aspio and look for Flynn.
Yeah, what happened to Flynn?
Well,
He's moved on.
yeah.
A lot of this game is just chasing Flynn around.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So you head back there, and
Whenever Flynn isn't on screen, people should be asking, "Where's Flynn?"
and they do.
They do.
Because, oh boy, will they not stop talking about that obnoxious twink. And
Wow, tell us how you really feel.
So Rita does say, well, okay, so I did kind of use you guys to finish some of my research. She's trying to work on some kind of spell or something. She's got some
formula.
A formula, a project that she's got ongoing. But she's like, well, I want to continue my research, so I'm going to follow you guys. And Rita says that she's going to go back to Halur because she thinks that Flynn might be there. And Yuri's like, well, I'll walk you there. It's fine. We can go see if Flynn is there together. And Carol's just going to keep on coming with because, I don't know, he just got nothing better to do.
He really doesn't.
He does keep talking about his girlfriend in Canada a lot.
Yeah, he's like, maybe we could find this girl. And they're like, oh, is that your girlfriend? He's like, no.
She
But
lives
maybe we
in
could find
Canada. Fantasy Canada.
So you head back to Halur. When it told you to go back to Aspio, I got a little lost. Like, I was like, am I supposed to go back all the way to the entrance, or is there another exit out here? I think I was spoiled by Skyrim, which always gives you like a little exit at the end of the dungeon just to go out.
It does, and it's so good.
Mm-hmm. This game's like, no, you have to walk all the way back to the beginning.
This one is the worst one.
It's a long way.
Yeah.
Well, it's like 4 screens, but still.
That's a lot of screens.
Yeah. And then I did go, because I was like, oh, where am I? Because they talked about going somewhere else. So I was trying to go east, and I ended up at this horse-drawn carriage. You know, the inn? I don't know if we talked about it last time. There's an inn run by a brother and sister, and the one's like a warrior guy, and he sort of talks about how he's not a warrior anymore, but he's looking for a monster. But
he tells you about the Gigantos. And he says that he cannot, retire his sword or whatever until all the Giganto monsters are taken care of.
That seems like an end game quest.
I have already fought one of them, which I found just hanging around in a dungeon. I think maybe 2 of them, actually.
Oh, wow.
They're just hanging around in alternate dungeon paths so far.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's that. I like that. I like that he barely talks.
Yeah,
which is
he
something
does kinda,
I found.
If you stay there, he kind of opens up to you.
If you want to really charm a woman, only talk in 1 or 2 word sentences, because ladies love that. They're like, because they fill in the blanks and just assume that the guy's mysterious.
And it leaves them
He's
wanting
so
more.
profound.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
He doesn't need to say anything else.
Yeah, I know what he's thinking.
Mm-hmm.
We understand each other in a way that transcends words.
But if you sleep at that inn, he tells you even more about his life. I think even in that area that you're talking about, that second place where you can run into them, if you stay there, you'll get like a campfire scene.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got that. I think that's where you find out about the Gigantos side quest.
It is.
So you head back to Halur, which you might remember as Big Tree Town. I was like, oh, maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe Big Tree Town's going to explode.
Nope, that's fine.
It doesn't explode.
Mm-hmm. Rita's very interested in the tree. She listens to how you said that you... Oh my God, she's such a tree stan. So she listens to you talk about how you healed this tree, and she's like, mm-hmm.
And you notice, but you don't... before, Yuri kept trying to deflect that Estelle had healed the tree. Like, anytime she talks about her powers, Yuri changes the topic, and Rita knows it. She's like, you guys changed the subject again.
Yeah. And he also changes the subject anytime someone sort of asks about her, like what her deal is.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he finds her really boring and he doesn't want to hear it.
I think he's just trying to keep her on a low prof. You know what I'm saying?
Why would he?
Because she's wanted right now. I
guess that's true.
Yeah. Because when you get back to Halur, who do you run into but the LeBlanc and his squad of buffoons?
Mm-hmm.
Those guys just will not give up.
They seem very intent on teaching you their combat methods. They're like, all right, we're going to arrest you, but first we're going to show you this really cool combat method.
Yeah,
So
every time they're like, we have this move that you'll never be able to top. And then Yuri's like, oh, yeah, I know about that move. What's it called again?
The overdrive.
Yeah.
And then
Over
the meter
limit.
appears on the side of the screen, and you can do it. It's pretty useful. It chains together attacks, so you can like basically do a non-stop combo of arts.
You can do
and
like an
attacks.
unlimited. Yeah, you can't be stunned. So like you can just keep doing combos and combos. It also makes your arts. We're calling them arts.
Mm-hmm.
It makes your arts very powerful as well.
I got some great ones. I got a couple of I combined Azure Edge and the Wolf Strikes to Azure Wolf, and so it's like a combination. You dive in there and then you do a combo. It's pretty good. I like that one a lot. I also like Fang Strike because it does a uppercut, which is very useful.
I've found that Destruction Field has been reliably excellent.
I got the one after that. Was it Collateral something?
Something
it does
like that, yeah.
a big stomp and then shoots a little projectile as well, but it does a bit more damage. It does take more TP. So you do have to make sure to stock up on toilet paper before going out because you'll run out of TP, and that's why everyone's been rushing to the stores.
Better rushing to the stores than rushing to the stalls with no TP on hand.
Oh, that's true. The Square Roots house does have stall bathrooms because there's so many of us here.
Well, you guys do.
Yeah.
I have
I don't.
eight
Yeah,
bathrooms in
I've
my
never
wing.
seen the bathroom in one of your two wings. Because
Yeah,
remember,
it's
you have the West Wing and the East Wing.
yeah. I mean, there's not just one bathroom per wing. That would be ridiculous. You always act like I'm taking up all this space all to myself, but I do have my 5 brother husbands who
that's
also
true.
live there. So, we have to make sure that everyone's needs are met all the time.
Right. So but one of them's not Chris Pratt, right? He's not.
No, absolutely not. What are you talking about?
Okay, good. Just making sure.
Gosh. What do you take me for? Don't answer that question.
So after this tutorial fight, you do see that the Red Eyes, like Mount Zika, what was his name? Zytophol?
What are you
Zapple?
talking about?
Zapdos?
Zygomorph?
Nope.
Solly fan.
It's Zuri? No. What's his name, Jim? Zuma?
Zuri Geller.
Who are you talking about?
The Red Eyes, the group of feral like assassins sent after you, except they're really after Flynn. Like one of them's like Voldo, and he's got a name like Zowie.
I know what you're talking about. I don't remember that guy's name.
Zuma.
It's Sigma?
No, it's only 4 letters. Zika? No.
I
Zika's
have
a
it
virus.
written down later in the notes here. His name is Zaggy.
Oh, that's
Zaggy,
right.
Yeah.
So he's there trying, and you know that they're about to attack you. And Yuri does a smart and is like, "Hey, I'm gonna skip this battle. So how about you guys, LeBlanc and friends, go attack these assassins so we can skedaddle." And he appeals to their sense of justice, and they do so. So we skedaddle.
Doesn't Carol do something as well in this instance, or is that the next instance?
I don't remember.
All right, moving on.
And Rita is still puzzled on how the princess Estelle is powerful enough to have healed the tree, and is very fascinated by her Blastia, which she seems to know something about that we do not. She has information we do not possess. So they say that Flynn left a note for us, right? And he was like, "Hey, I've gone to..."
Wait, isn't the note just the wanted poster?
Yeah.
No, there's two things. He gave you a note and the wanted poster just to let you know, hey, you're super wanted right now.
This wanted poster is one of the funniest things I've seen in a game that we played.
I think it's up there with the tomato. Remember the tomato hunt? And it was it was the hand drawn hunt of all the little tomato guys in Final Fantasy 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. This made me laugh out loud. It also reminded me of that moment in Persona 5 when they sort of go over what happened and they have little sort of scrawled drawings of the protagonist looking like sad and then looking happy as the scheme goes off. But yeah, it looks like if the drawings before and the skits looked like Johnny drew them, this looks like
I actually drew them.
this looks like Johnny actually drew them with his offhand. It's like a scribbled child's drawing of Yuri with a big smile and a triangle nose and that like separate eyelash thing that kids do when they draw eyelashes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that like hair jutting kind of all over the place.
Mm-hmm. He looks great.
It's really funny.
Now, you see another wanted poster later. Is it I think it's a different drawing, but in the same kind of style, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's great. So he says that in the note, come meet with me, catch up to me. I'm going to Capua Noir. You don't exactly know what he's doing or why he's going to Capua Noir, right?
No, we don't.
Yeah, okay. So you get to head there, but you need to head there through Emmead Hill, which is Benny's son.
Mm-hmm. And we get there and it's like...
Is that your version of Yakety Sax?
It was really bad. I could hear how bad it was when I was doing it.
Come on.
No, that's
That doesn't
not
sound like
either.
Yakety Sax either. I want to wait.
That's not circus sound. Yeah, Jim had it. Go,
Yeah.
Jim.
I want to wait.
No, that's not it either.
That's not even the tune.
I had it for a second.
You know, guys, this Yakety sucks.
You know what? When you guys told me to run with it, I knew immediately. I just forgot it. I had it for a second, and then I forgot it.
No, see, you're going into the circus song. That's not the same song.
Oh, you're right. What am I thinking? I think I'm thinking of the beginning of You Can't Do That on Television. No, that's really not it. So we get there. There is a Blastia that has collapsed. That was some kind. And Rita's like, well, I know where all the Blastias are in this entire world. There's not a Blastia here. And Carol's like, no, it's a new Blastia. And it's there. But it's broken. So there's no barrier around there, and Rita takes a look at the broken Blastia and is like, "Hey, they're hurting this Blastia. I want to go see if because she says Blastias are alive."
I don't know if she thinks they're alive or if she just likes them a lot.
I don't know what a Blastia is. Like if I've played a lot of this game, like 20 hours, and if you put a gun in my head and ask me what a Blastia is, I don't know that I could explain it.
Jim, what's a Blastia?
I don't know.
Vanessa, put that away. Where did you even get that gun?
Well, you know.
Jeez. Americans. Anyway. This Blastia is damaged. I get the sense that Rita thinks they're alive. She says something to the tune of they're living creatures or something, and so she doesn't like seeing them mistreated either way, like either because she thinks they're precious or she thinks they're alive. and she's very upset by this broken Blastia. And I think it was like they mangled some different Blastia together or something.
What?
That there's like a bunch of Blastias kind of mushed together to make this barrier Blastia.
Oh.
I think. And then you go through this mountain pass because the guards realize who you are and that you're wanted, and you have to get away from them. So you have got to go around. And this does mean that you're going through these monster paths that have some stun flowers that Rita is like, oh, check this out, Carol.
Yeah.
And does get him completely paralyzed, painfully so.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
You mentioned it before, and it really is true that Rita hates Carol.
She's always like beating the hell out of him.
She's very abusive to Carol. He's a child.
Yeah, but he sucks, and Rita recognizes that. She's very smart.
I guess so. At the end of this path, you find a wolf. This wolf is named Gattuso, and it is maybe the hardest boss in the game. I did die to this boss like 6 times.
Wow. Yeah, this is interesting because this boss is way harder than any other boss you fought thus far and that I've fought thus far in the game. And I was reading something, and apparently there was a relatively popular demo of this game that was released prior to the full game, and this boss was the last boss in that demo. So I could see them really upping the difficulty on this boss to make like finishing the demo more satisfying, because it required you to grind a little bit. Try out some different tactics. So I could see. I mean, I get it, but it's really hard.
Yeah, the Gattuso has this poison fang attack that can one hit kill most of the characters. I think it does like 700, 800 points of damage. So if you're not at full health, it will one hit kill you. Fortunately, you can go back to Heir at any time and go stock up on items. So I did some grinding. I got Yuri up to level 17. I got some more arts from different weapons I synthesized. But really the trick to this one, you can also, I don't know, there's a couple of things we haven't really talked about. One, you can play as any character, which isn't, the game never really tells you that, but if you switch who is in the number 1 slot, you can play as whoever. But that doesn't super help you here because you want Yuri because he's got the most hit points. You can also change the battle strategy for the rest of the party. Not individually like Persona, but you can tell them like, don't rush the enemy, like leave the enemy to me. And they'll be more defensive, which is maybe useful if they're dying a lot in this fight. But really what you need to do is I got Rita in the party. I got was it? No, yeah, I kept Rita. I got Rita, Carol, and Estelle in the party. And then you hold down the left trigger to free run because basically you can't block the attacks of this thing. So you want to try and lure like this big wolf monster next to the flowers. The flowers, as mentioned before, they are in this battlefield, so you can get the monster to attack them. And if he's stunned, or if he attacks the flowers accidentally, he will stun himself, and then you get like this there's a special cutscene for if you do an attack while he's stunned, and it says like great. And
those are secret missions.
Yeah, so you can do that to
I missed that one. I've gotten more since then, but I missed this one.
So you can keep doing that over and over, and that's how you cheese this boss, basically. It's a very, very tough fight because you have to play very differently and much more strategically than you did any of the other bosses or any of the big fights so far in the game. I don't mind that it sort of makes you play the game differently. It's just maybe a little bit too hard, or it doesn't give you. I also think that the getting it to attack the flower mechanic is cool, but it isn't implemented very well, and it's sort of mushy on whether or not the thing will hit the flower or not. And your AI characters keep going right next, getting stuck on those flowers, and then getting killed because they get knocked out. It's very annoying. So that's my pro tip corner. How did you all find this boss fight?
Oh, Yuri did get knocked out once, and I had to use a revive bottle, but then I beat him on the first try.
Me too.
Mm-hmm. What difficulty were you playing?
Easy.
Easy.
Okay. Yeah, I know Matt even died on easy. I don't know if Matt's got past this part yet.
I feel like Matt needs to grind a little bit.
Yeah, I think he hasn't been giving himself time to grind.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got to rise and grind. So you defeat this wolf. The wolf is dead. And then you can get past... Basically, the path goes back to the other side of that Blastia, and you can leave. And this leads you to the next town, Capua Noir. There's two Capuas, Capua Tor and Capua Noir.
I spent a lot of time grinding between... Because, like, I left that wolf battle thinking, like, I am underleveled. Because it seemed so hard. So I spent, like, an hour and a half just... like battle after battle after battle here, and I got really good at getting close enough to an enemy to aggro them and then dragging them to another enemy and doing an encounter link, because those encounter links net you so much experience.
Oh,
yeah,
that's good to know.
Yeah, so if you encounter an enemy close to another enemy or even a couple enemies, you'll fight all the enemies at once, and like it can be up to like 12 enemies, and it nets you so much like ability points and experience. It's worth it. It's pretty cool.
I got an ability Taunt, which is I guess would be useful because enemies will sometimes just make a beeline for Estelle, but I don't want to map it because you can map basically 4 attacks to your stick, and then you can map 4 attacks to your other stick, but I think the other 4 attacks have to be other party members. So like I've mapped Rita doing her splash attack, which does tons of damage and stun locks an enemy. The one where it's like water pours from the air. And
just that's a great one.
Damage. Yeah, it's really good to immobilize an enemy so you can get up there and do some combos on it. And I got one just to tell Rita to heal. You can also pause the game, open the menu, hit wide open the menu, and tell characters what to do, because Estelle almost never does buffs on the other characters, and I'm like, Estelle, put a barrier on me and then heal me, because she's like doing useless stuff all the time.
I found that I had a lot of my characters using up all of my items, and I wasn't clicking the R3 button in time to cancel. You can actually go into the settings and flip that. So instead of telling them to cancel, you can basically give them permission to use an item. Yes, and I find that lets me conserve my items a lot better.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm grinding.
Recommend that too. So you get close to Capua Noir, and then suddenly it's raining, and it's dark, and you get inside there. And you're like, well, I guess we need to go find Flynn. But where is Flynn? And then something weird happens where you're talking, and these bad guys are have beat up this guy, and they're like, oh, we've got your son. And he's like, no. And they say, well, if you want to get your son free, all you need to do is pay your taxes, and you should go find this monster that's been released. And meanwhile, there seems to be like some suspicious characters in an alley that Yuri's looking at. So Yuri's like, okay, I'll be right back. So he goes to, I guess, attack these random suspicious looking people. But he does get cornered by them because they seem to, come back to life after being defeated? Is that right?
I think it's just more of them show up.
Okay. And he does seem to be surrounded, but then just in the nick of time, someone comes and beats them all up. Who is it?
It's
Power Twink.
Flynn.
Yay! Oh, Flynn, the bestest boy ever.
The most blonde, most handsome, most chivalrous knight boy ever.
I wish we could be Flynn, but we have to be Yuri.
I know. Flynn's great. He's super strong. He's super handsome. He has beautiful blonde hair. He has beautiful armor. He's best in everything. And he's a little rule boy.
He is.
And he does say, well, it's good to see you, Yuri. And by that, I mean, I'm going to stick the sword in your face. and start attacking you. And Yuri's like, what are you doing? Why are you attacking me, friend? And he's like, he grabs a wanted poster off the wall. There's another amazing portrait of Yuri. And he's like, you are full of badness. You have done bad things. You're wanted for kidnapping. Is that what he's wanted for now?
Yeah, he's
And
like,
escaping
how
prison.
could you do all of these things? I told you to, like, behave yourself. I can't believe that you, my best friend, would do this. And Yuri's like, we're not friends. I don't even like you. And Flynn's like, I love you. I care about you. I want what's best for you. And Yuri's like, you suck. I hate you.
So Estelle's like, hey, it's Flynn. She runs up to hug Flynn. Flynn's like, well, no, he knows who she is, but he does seem taken aback by her running up and hugging him.
Yeah, I think he's
And-
also taken aback by her being there at all. He's like, what?
So you head to the inn, and Estelle and Flynn are having some talks. Meanwhile, you can look around the town. So Yuri does do a little wander and runs into this estate. It's the estate of Magistrate Ragu. And there is a guy who is going to, I guess, he wants to get his son back. Is that right?
Yeah, he says his son has been taken.
But he's got to go fight some monster.
Well, he's like being beat up.
Well, no, there's a second part where there's someone else at the gate. I'm trying to remember who that was. That the same guy?
Well,
Anyway.
when you first get to the town, you see the guy being beat up.
Yeah, but there's
Yeah.
someone at the gate who's talking to the guards, and I can't remember who that is.
That's
it's a-
Raven.
Darling little girl.
Oh,
Oh.
it's Patty.
That's right, right. And they do let Patty in somehow, right?
No,
Oh
you
my
get into
gosh,
a
you
confrontation with
cannot.
Patty and the guards.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Sorry, go, Vanessa. You describe it because I don't remember exactly.
This is the best part of the entire game.
This
So-
fan art Vanessa posted in the group chat, by the way.
It looks like stained glass art of Yuri
Yeah.
and Flynn about to kiss.
They have the sharpest features I've ever seen.
So we head to the gate and we are approached by a little girl. She is dressed in full pirate gear and she talks like a pirate. She's like, "Yar, ahoy! Oh, there be ye! Let me in the gates. Me demand it." And Yuri, unlike with Carol, is disturbed that this little girl is wandering around by herself. And he's like, "Hey, you can't just be out here rushing the gate in your little pirate outfit." And he grabs her hand and she's like, "Oh, ye be a forward one, eh? Wink." And he's like, "No, like, listen, little child, I'm going to take you home." And she's like, "Ye can't be taking me home. Me looking for treasure." And she throws a smoke bomb.
Is she Irish or a pirate?
She's an Irish pirate. And she
Okay.
throws a smoke bomb onto the ground. And as the smoke clears, Yuri finds that instead of holding her hand, he is holding a life-size doll of her.
It's more of a cardboard cutout of her, right?
I thought it looked like a straw doll, kind of.
Oh, okay. I assumed it was like a wooden plank with her painted on it.
It is like fully clothed though.
Yeah, it's like
is it?
her whole outfit on it. Yeah.
I love the face on it in
Yeah.
particular.
Yeah, it has a crudely drawn face, and but it does have her same blonde hair and her whole outfit, and
They're like little pigtails.
yeah. And Yuri just looks at it and says, "You got to be kidding me." And then he's like, "Okay, I'm going back to the inn. I can't with this, whatever that was."
So you head back to the inn, and Flynn is very convinced that there's no ships leaving because you think that the guy who's arranging all of these Blastia thieves. Oh, I forget why they need to go to the other Capua tour. Do you remember what the motivation is that they need to cross the ocean?
They're looking for
The thief?
I don't remember. Yeah, the person that the thief was working for. right? No,
Okay.
they want to get to the guild city, right? Or no? I don't remember.
I think that the kid wants to get to the guild city. Mm-hmm. I can't remember why Yuri needs to cross.
They want to go to the guild city because they know that this blood guild is involved now.
Oh, that's right.
okay.
Yes, guild city.
Okay. But there's no crossing because of the bad weather, and that's why no one can make money anymore. Yet the magistrate is raising taxes, and everyone thinks that the magistrate is using some kind of weather-controlled blastia, and Flynn wants to be able to prove it, but he can't because he can't legally enter the premises unless he has due cause to do so. And then Yuri's like if there was some kind of commotion going on, he's like, yeah, wink. That
If there
might
was
work.
a wanted criminal in the palace.
Mm-hmm. So you try heading back in there, and you cannot get in. Then you happen to want to see this old man, who you might remember as helping you out of prison. It's that guy, and we find out that his name is
Raven!
and he does help you break into the palace because you know what? That's so Raven.
Mm-hmm. Johnny, you did gloss over a little monster hunt we go on.
Oh, right. Yes, I did. Sorry.
Because there's talk in the town that this magistrate is after a very special monster with a very valuable horn. So we do go hunt it down. We beat it up and take its horn, although it seems to survive the process of being dehorned.
Well,
And
you could, you could kill it, but yours like, no, we just need the horn. There's no reason to
Yeah.
actually kill this thing.
yeah, we don't need to kill more than necessary. And Estelle likes that a lot. But then as soon as we get back to town, Yuri sees
Vanessa.
these.
Did you know
Yeah.
elephants without horns, like the random mutation of elephants being born without horns, are surviving much more and are breeding because of pressure, which turns out to be a human-induced evolutionary pressure for elephants to lose horns. And so now there are more and more elephants without horns due to poaching, like that are being born without horns because
Oh, that makes sense because
poachers.
we don't poach elephants that don't have horns. However, elephants do use their horns for things
Yes.
like fighting each other or digging and rooting around.
Yeah, so it's bad, but it's just an interesting fact that there is right now an evolutionary pressure caused by humans to cause elephants to genetically start losing their horns.
Evolution isn't real, and we shouldn't teach it in schools.
Oh. I see.
I'm just trying to represent both sides, Johnny. We have to be fair and balanced.
Your face has to be fair and balanced.
Oh.
Is fair and balanced. Thank you for noticing. Oh.
So Yuri's like, well, this will get us into the gate, but then he sees that guy who's lost his child, and he's like, here, you can have it. Go get your stupid kid back. And they're like, well, how are you going to get in there now? And Yuri's like, well, think of something.
Yeah.
He's a
So-
good guy.
He is a good guy. And then the other characters are like, you were going to do that the whole time, weren't you? And he's like, maybe.
Mm-hmm. And so then I've actually kind of, my brain has glossed over how Raven gets us into the palace.
Raven runs up to the guards and he's like, hey, 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 look at me. And then they chase him over to where you are. And now that they're away from the gate, you just beat him up.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And make your way into the palace. So you catch up with him, and he does take the good elevator up, and we get on. There's two elevators. We get on the other elevator, which happens to go down, and we're like, oh.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, goodbye, see you later.
Yeah.
And then we're in the torture dungeon.
Torture dungeon?
Yeah.
We don't want to be there.
We find this dungeon, and everyone's like, wow, it smells really bad in here. And it is covered in the bones of humans and a whole bunch of monsters walking around. We're like, did the monsters do this? This is horrible. What's happening in this basement?
I'm pretty sure Sephiroth did.
We learned pretty shortly that it wasn't Sephiroth. It was risotto or whatever it is we decided to call him. Ragu.
There is we hear a little boy whining. You go save the little boy because he's going to be monster food if we don't save him. There's also... So this isn't a very open dungeon. It's very linear. There's always two doors, one that's locked and one that leads to the monsters that have the key to unlocking the door.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was fun.
Yeah, it's cute.
It's okay.
Yeah. I feel like it could have been a bit more interesting.
Did you guys have a weird reaction the first time you fought a human enemy?
Yeah.
I was like, this feels weird.
It was uncomfortable.
Yeah. Like the first time you run into a human enemy on the map is after Amid Hill, before the port city, and I
thought I could talk to them and be friends with them.
Me too. I was like, oh, who are these guys? And nope, just have to kill them.
Yeah, they're just like thieves and witches.
It's uncomfortable.
We do find a little lost boy down here. And he, I think, is the child of the people who we gave the horn to. Patty is wrapped in a blanket and tied to the ceiling. And she claims that it is exactly where she wants to be, and she is not in a trap.
That sounds right.
What the heck was that?
Whoa, it's Matt.
Whoa.
What are you talking about? I've been here the whole time.
Oh.
I was here for the whole episode.
Are we supposed to believe you were here for an hour and 45 minutes and you did not vape or talk?
Now, I can believe one, but not the other.
Hello, friends. I'm sorry I'm late. Where are we at in the episode?
We're almost done.
Almost done. Listeners,
Nearly
I'm sorry. I had a friend had a kind of a crisis. You know, things happen.
Matt was
Let's
being
do
a
it.
good friend.
I was being a good friend.
He went down the road and back again. Because his heart is true. He's a pal and a confidant.
Oh, my God.
If Paul threw a party and invited all the Pauls he knew, you would see the biggest Paul would be from Matt, and the card attached would say, "Thank you for being my Paul."
I'm super glad that I came to join the end of this episode. Can you guys catch me up on the running joke? There's always at least one running joke for the episode. So what is it this time? Rudy Toot Toot?
No. Matt, would you please sing Yakety Sax?
I don't think anybody, none of us have reliably gotten that, first, part of Yakety Sax.
Was that it?
It's closer than we all got, I think.
Yeah.
Is the Yakety
Somewhere
Sax not the
between
Benny
the
Hill
four
song?
of us
Because that's what I think of it as.
It is, yeah.
Well, then. Looks like I'm right about everything as usual. Yeah. Yes. Nope, that's way off.
I did that joke for Jim and he wasn't even paying attention.
Oh.
Sorry. I'm putting in a Chipotle order.
Are you guys ready for me to level up, or what's the deal with that?
Jim
Nope.
told us what you did.
Yeah.
I covered it.
That's not. Ooh, boy. That's
We're in
not
the
how
mid.
we-
We're almost done the Wonder Log.
So you're ready for me to level up then?
almost when we're
You
done the
level
Wonder
So
up
you're
Log.
when we're
ready
done
for
with
me
the
to level
Wonder
up,
Log.
is what you're saying.
We
I
don't
You
went
get a-
to
you get a
Texas.
the
three-
Wonder Log.
You get a 3-word level up. Went to Texas. That's all you get.
No, that's not. That wasn't going to be my level up. I've been watching Only Murders in the
That's what
Building.
you said, though.
I already talked about
fantastic.
that,
Vanessa
Matt.
already talked about that.
Only Murders in the Building. All right,
I
fine.
talked
I've been
about it.
listening to Against Me. It's my new favorite thing on the planet. How I was not already into a Gainesville punk band is very questionable.
So Patty is hanging from the ceiling by a rope.
She
and
is.
Yuri cuts her down and catches her in his arms.
Perfect.
And then
Perfect timing.
drops her on the floor.
I'm glad I came in just in time to talk about how shitty it is when jerpigs have a little girl that's madly in love with an adult. What do you think? It's cute? It makes us all uncomfortable. I guess.
Yeah, that's weird.
We should rethink this. Is all
Are
I'm
they,
saying.
how old is? I mean, not that it matters. Not that
Yuri
it matters in
is
this context. How old is Yuri?
18 or 20, right? Didn't we look this up?
He's 19, I think.
He's 19.
So they're all teens, right? Except for Raven.
Yeah.
Raven is 30. Yeah.
35,
Jim,
yeah.
this is a typical JRPG.
I like that Raven's 30,
Yeah.
and they call him old man the entire
He's
game.
35,
Yikes.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Jim.
Yeah, what an old bastard.
This is Auron. This is literally Final Fantasy X.
I mean,
It's the
30.
same.
30 is not old. 35, old.
You are 35.
I'm 34. Thank you.
According to Wikipedia, Patty is 14, which seems
Whoa!
wildly
no
inaccurate.
Way. Yikes!
Wait,
no,
hang
way.
on. Jim, you know what? Vanessa, you're right. She looks 10.
She
looks
like at the
6.
oldest 10.
Vanessa
yeah.
just said she's 14.
Matt,
This
I know
is
you-
a game that was made by adult males who've never had daughters and don't understand how girls grow up. And thinks a
that or just
14-year-old
like-
girl should be the size of a 6-year-old boy.
Well, they either don't know or they don't care.
Now,
Ooh, which one's more disturbing?
Rita says that she's 15. So,
Rita's
Really?
15?
yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought Rita was like 25.
nope. Do you also equally dislike the Love Actually thing where that precocious, awful, the worst part of the movie, I'd say, awful boy is in love with his teacher, and it's about Liam Neeson, like, getting him to, like, write him a love letter? I don't remember. That part
Johnny,
sucks.
that's not what happens in that movie at all. The
Well,
precocious
but
boy
he's-
is
What does
in
that have
love
to
with
do
his
Tales of
classmate,
Vesperia?
who
Oh,
is the
was it?
same age as him.
Oh, I thought he was in love with the teacher.
No,
Oh. What am I thinking of?
I don't know. And there's no letter involved. That's the movie where he runs through airport security, shutting down all of Heathrow on Christmas Eve to talk to his crush.
Oh, okay. Well, that wasn't a good idea. Why would you
Hang
do
on,
that?
isn't that the guy from The Walking Dead?
Carl?
Andrew Lincoln?
No, not Coral. Coral!
Carl? Andrew Lincoln is in that movie. He is not playing the precocious child who runs through the airport.
I think that's Haley Joel Osment.
It's not
Doesn't
Haley
he
Joel
play
Osment.
the guy that does the signs, though? I've never
He
seen the
does
movie.
play the guy who does the signs.
Wow. Well,
Oh,
I guess
you
it
mean
makes sense that he
Bill
went on to
Nighy,
be in
right?
that terrible Walking Dead show.
Bill
Bill
Nighy
Nighy
is also in the movie. He is not playing the precocious
Is he
child.
the science guy?
He's not playing the science guy. He's playing the washed-up rock star.
Yeah, I think like a washed-up rock star guy.
Remember when he was in Underworld? What a great movie.
Yeah. You know what? First Underworld movie, not that bad.
Was he in the
You know
first
what?
or was he
I
in the
agree.
second
He
Underworld?
But I
was in the
think that
first one, for
Underworld
sure.
movie's got a lot of like untapped potential, kind of. It does, you know, the first Underworld movie. There's a lot of like, what is really going on here? That's interesting, and then that immediately is gone after Underworld 1 and all. the
Well,
rest
yeah,
of them are
and
terrible.
also the movie's shot with like the darkest blue filter. Everything looks like blue and black dog shit. It looks really bad.
Anyway.
Patty is smitten with Yuri. She talks about how he is very cool and cold, but she likes that. However, she does not join the party because she is looking for treasure, and they're like, "You sound more like a thief, not like a pirate." And she's like, "I'm an adventurer pirate," and then she runs away. We run into the magistrate. He is behind a gate. And we're like, "Hey, you've been throwing people to your monsters." And he's like, "When you're as wealthy and refined as I am, you find certain amusements that wouldn't be comprehensible by a rabble like you." It's very, I can't say what it's like because that would
Most
be a
dangerous
spoiler.
game?
It's like Most Dangerous Game.
Yeah.
And no other game.
Yeah. Hunger Games? Yeah.
About how Yuri loves urinating on children, I think is the point of this game.
What?
He's betrothed. She implies that they're engaged.
Well, but
Is
he's
that
not.
what
He
you think
keeps
that
saying
engaged
no.
people do?
Pee on each other?
Yeah.
I
Is that
don't
not
think
the
that.
next step? First comes love, then comes marriage, then comes baby in a baby carriage, then comes golden showers and poo parades.
She's a child.
Excuse me.
Well, only
I'm
you
not
and Jim have
suggesting-
been married, so I guess you'd know.
So we do see that Mr. Ragu does have the Blastia that was behind the golem.
The rainy rain.
Yeah, so that seems to be what's causing the issue. And he starts laughing about it. He's like, ha 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 ha.
Yeah, it's like no ships can leave the port because it's rainy, and so then this town will become more like separated, and
We should
I
also
can have more
mention
power.
back on Benny Hill, there was people did say that the person that broke the Blastia was a dragon. On a dragon. He was riding a dragon. He wasn't a dragon. He was a dragon rider.
Yep.
Because that is important to understand what happens next. What happens next, Matt?
Wait, though. Is it a dragon rider? I know that they say dragon rider, but that does seem to be like a floating worm. Like it's a
What is a
caterpillar.
dragon
An
if not a
interesting
floating
dragon
worm?
design.
It's a
Worm
caterpillar.
with a Y.
Yeah.
Worm with a Y.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happens?
Well, but I meant like a worm, not like,
Like
a
a worm with
with
a
a Y.
like a worm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a worm.
Not a worm.
Wait, like a
weird.
werewolf?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a werewolf is
It's a
what we call
werewolf.
All right, Vanessa,
No, Jim.
what happens?
Werewolves are from Chris Claremont's outstanding 1980s Excalibur series.
Okay,
I've
what's a
never seen
wormwolf then? Is that when a worm is bitten by a werewolf?
No, not a worm wolf, a werewolf.
Worm, WYRM wolf.
Oh, a werewolf.
That's when a werewolf bites a dragon, and then the dragon on the full moon changes into a werewolf, and it's a very uncomfortable and awkward situation.
Oh.
Everybody.
So this dragon rider shows up, and he's got white armor and a long lance, and he just throws that lance right at that Blastia and smashes it up, and this freaks Rita out. She starts throwing
Freaks
fireballs in
Rita
every direction. Excuse me, Matt, I'm sorry.
Breaks Rita out?
It freaks Rita out. She starts
Breaks?
throwing fireballs in every direction, and that's when Flynn and his team of soldiers burst through the
boy.
door. And he's like, everybody's under arrest. And Rita's like, fireball, fireball, fireball. And in the chaos, the magistrate escapes to a ship. And we give chase. And on the ship, we meet the head of the Blood Alliance.
And he looks like Captain Crunch.
He looks like a Johnny boyfriend to me.
I thought he looked like Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch is a Johnny boyfriend.
Oh, yeah.
No,
It's-
no.
Wait.
Sorry, I mean Captain Crunch.
Why would Captain Crunch be a Johnny boyfriend? Like, are you
Because
guys all
he and the
idiots?
Captain make it happen.
Yeah, there does seem to be a whole guild of Johnny boyfriends. I can do better than the captain. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Especially Captain Crunch. No, thank you.
Especially Captain Crunch. A, he's not a bear. B, he's an old man.
Yeah, but he's also a captain.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the prestige.
Captains
Is that
make a good
Jim?
salary
Is that how
too.
you think of attraction? Is via how powerful they are? I mean, that's fine.
I
but
mean,
like, you
it's
need to
not.
recognize that
Power
everybody
is attractive
feels
to
that way.
people. Power is attractive to people.
To people, you mean you?
I'm not a Captain Stan, but I'm just acknowledging reality.
You and the Captain make it happen.
Yeah,
So
you and the captain make it happen, and we all know it.
yeah. This guy's name is Barbos. He
Jim's
has
into that mature porn. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
he has one
When he
eye but
looks
no
at-
eye
when
patch.
he-
He has a big ball for his hand. instead of
Yeah,
a
he
hook,
does.
I suppose, and a giant sword.
He has like a. Do you see his like special sword here?
Oh,
No,
it's
not
amazing.
yet.
Yes. Oh, wait, no.
Oh, this is just a regular sword.
But his sword is huge. Like, he's got
It
a
is
big old
huge.
chonky, like, Final
It's like
Fantasy
a
VII
Carol
Buster
sword.
And it has like little spikes on the end of it too.
See,
And-
Carol has a sword just like that.
Yeah.
I don't like to think about, ooh, does that mean that this Carol is his dad?
Carol
his-
is Barbaros's
Carol
dad.
is the old pirate's dad. Have you guys not realized that Carol's like an immortal monster child yet?
I don't think that's canon.
Johnny gets it.
Do I?
So we think we're going to fight this guy, but instead he is like, I call upon the pervert Zaggy. And then pervert Zaggy is there.
Where's
Good
Zaggy a
old
pervert?
Zaggy.
Because he is. Because the last time we fought him, he was like, oh, yeah, I can
Oh,
feel
that's
it.
right.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy, I
he was
love to
real into
kill.
I
He's
forgot
kinda
that
like
he's
a
hard for murder.
Zaz. Yeah. Do you think that Victor Zaz is hard for murder?
He
Oh, yeah.
very clearly is, because every time he does it, he cuts a scar into his body.
It's like cutting a notch on a bedpost.
Exactly. Do you think he has any scars on his penis?
I think he's saving that for a very special someone.
He's definitely got
Batman.
someone, but
Batman. He's saving it for Batman, right? Like when he kills Batman, he's going to put the scar on his penis. And he's going to be like, this one's for the Bat.
I liked Victor Zaz in Gotham. I thought that was great.
who played him in Gotham?
Yeah,
I
he
don't
did.
know.
I did not like him in Harley in Birds of Prey.
I did. I thought that actor did a fucking fantastic job.
Well,
actually.
I'll give you that. I think he does. I did not like the character, but I mean that's pretty.
that actor
intentional.
was like menacing from the jump.
Actually, I would like to. Can we take a minute to talk about how saying I didn't like a character in a movie doesn't mean that I don't like the actor, Jim? Like, way to call me out for something I didn't say. It's the
well, you're not
job of
supposed
the
to
actor.
like the serial killer.
The job of the
mob
actor is to make
henchman.
me not like the character. So when I say that I didn't like the character, I'm
So it's
complimenting
actually a
the actor.
compliment.
But thanks for coming in and correcting me about how awesome
That's an
serial
that's an
killers
interesting way to say you liked his performance, but okay.
He was played by Anthony Kerrigan on Gotham. He's
Oh.
a actor who is a bald head, and he's got no eyebrows because he has alopecia.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what happens next?
Next, we fight this guy.
Barbos?
No,
Well, Zaggy.
the
Oh, no,
pervert.
Zaggy.
The pervert Zaggy.
So you wrote you can knock him overboard. Is there a way not like? Does that not always happen?
I think during the fight, you can sort of knock him into the water and then get extra hits on
Is that
him.
a secret mission?
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't get that secret
Oh,
mission.
I didn't get
I
that
didn't
either.
get it either.
Boo.
Yeah.
So we defeat him. We send him into the sea, and then this Blood Alliance guy is like, "I'm gonna get you now," and he starts like hopping up and down. But the ship does do an explode and sink into the sea. As it is sinking away, all of our characters jump overboard, except for Yuri, who hears cries of help coming from the cabin, and he rushes to the cabin door as the ship goes up in smoke. What happens next? You'll have to find out next time on Square Roots.
What a cliffhanger.
Next time.
There
On
is a
Square
bullshit
Roots.
mini game to talk about.
Wait, what? There was?
There is. There is.
John.
John.
Yes.
Time to shine, baby.
So there's another wall, but this time there's a window, so it's not just a random Wonder Wall man. It's just this guy. He's a dice master, and he's like, "Hey,
Oh,
if
yeah.
you beat me, I will make you a dice master." And by you, he specifically means Rita, who I guess is super into gambling. Which is disturbing in someone so young. You see, this is the problem with the loot boxes and the Fortnite, is that you are encouraging children to really get into this gambling, and it does lead on a pathway to addiction. And I'm against it. Is what I'm saying. And Rita, at least for me, it was super easy. It almost felt like you do always win the first one, but I'm not sure. And he's like, you'll be able to face me again, and there's other dice masters, so you got to keep defending your title because Rita is now a dice master.
Did you say you got it on the first try?
Yeah.
I got it on the second try.
I also got it on the first try, and then I forgot to save my game after that. And the next time I tried, it took like 18 times.
Oh my gosh.
No. Because Rita so it's 3 dice. You have to guess if it's going to be 10 or lower, or 11 or higher, the total sum. So this, I mean, it's purely by chance. You should know that the most common roll for 2 dice is 7. So I guess the most common roll for 3 dice is like 10.5. So it could go either way. It's basically a 50-50 guess, and you got to get 3 right in a row. Getting 1 wrong will immediately disqualify you.
I played even and odd, which is played with 2 dice, and you guess if the sum will be even or odd.
Oh, okay. Oh, you have the choice. That's right, between higher and lower, or even and odd. Okay, interesting.
I skipped this. How do you guys feel about that?
Unsurprised.
I thought I'd get more than... What do you get when you win?
A boat.
You get a title. You get the title of Dice Master.
Oh, that's right. I like going into the status screen and messing with the
John,
titles and the accessories.
As double O's in Canada. A boot, John.
A boot?
You get a boot. You get a boot for your backside. Maybe you lost yours. Right. Maybe you need a new one. You get a boot.
Let's wrap this up, guys. I have to pick up a Chipotle order within the next 25 minutes.
Oh, goodness.
Boy, that sounds really delicious.
So let's talk about what we are squarely against.
Let's talk about what you ordered from Chipotle.
Let's not. Let's talk about what we're squarely against.
I am roundly for Patty. I think she's great. I love this little child pirate. I like that she is a independent woman. I don't like that she is in love with an adult, but I'm hoping that she can get over it and maybe set her sights on Carol, who is an age-appropriate paramour for her. Patty, she's great. Johnny, what are you squarely against?
I am roundly for Raven, because I'm going to make so many That's So Raven jokes throughout the rest of the series.
Can I just, and I don't want it to be my squarely against, but so can I just point out that like the fact that his name is Raven bothers me, because there's already a character named Raven. Like, it's like naming your character Superman. Like, how am I supposed to get by?
Which Raven are you thinking of?
Teen Titans Raven, obviously.
So not Tekken Raven?
Who?
There's Raven and Tekken.
I'm talking about Teen Titans Raven, John, the most recognizable Raven.
The most recognizable
popular Raven, the most important Raven, the oldest Raven, the only Raven.
The Wesley Snipes blade-looking guy from Tekken who rocks. And that is the best Raven.
Sounds racist. Cool.
What? How does that sound? He's got a sword.
Anyway, Raven from Teen Titans, obviously. So, how am I supposed to take this man seriously when he's like, I'm a teenage girl who says Azarath, Metrion, Zinthos all the time?
I'm sure she's not the most popular character named Raven. There's lots of Ravens.
What about Raven Simone?
Yeah.
That is so Raven, Vanessa.
Thank you.
So what is your squarely against then, if that's not it? Matt.
You know what I'm roundly for? I'm roundly for how much Jim and Vanessa like this game. John seems to be indifferent, but Vanessa has several times thanked me for choosing this game, and that makes me feel so happy inside, like warm and fuzzy and good in a way that, you know, is hard to come by. So thank you, Matt, and thank you, Vanessa.
This game made me laugh out loud at the wanted posters, and it made me laugh out loud when Patty replaced herself with a full-size Patty doll.
Patty doll. Is it a doll? I know that it describes itself as a doll, but when you look at it, it does look like a cardboard cutout.
Oh yeah, I do
That's what
like.
John said. Yeah.
I do like when you meet Patty again, and you're like, "Yeah, we've met before," and he pulls out the cardboard doll again.
He does. That's right.
Yeah.
It's super good. That's what I'm rounding for. What about Vanessa?
Vanessa's already gone. Mm-hmm. I'm the
What
only
about
one
Jim?
that hasn't gone. I will say I'm roundly for. I'm gonna agree with Vanessa. Patty. I get a real big kick out of Patty. I like whenever she comes back into the party because she's a real kind of in and out character for a while. Whenever you run into her, it is delightful. I think she's funny. The doll thing, like I paused the game and was like, I wasn't for sure if I should be laughing or I was like, am I like not understanding this? Is this or is this game just like really weird?
It was like a Naruto gag. It was like a Naruto gag that doesn't necessarily make a ton of sense.
Yeah, no, it was just really funny, and like I really appreciated it. Yeah, Patty's great.
Johnny, what's the Patreon all about?
The Patreon is a way of saying, thanks, Square Roots. We like what you're doing. And also, I want access to exclusive episodes and voting and stuff. So, for $3 a month, you get access to every single bonus episode we've ever made and ever will make. Which means that, like this month, you've got our Doki Doki Literature Club. Not Doki Doki Panic, like I keep saying. Episode that should be up already. Basically, go look at it. Go to your Patreon right now. Do it now.
It's in there.
And for $5 a month, you get to vote on upcoming games. And don't forget that next year, 2022, it's up to you. So
All votes all the time.
and yeah, hit us up with some ideas on what would be great categories to vote on. Like, as we said before, best not an RPG. Or was it not an RPG? Bad RPG. Grindy JRPG. Vanessa.
Super old RPG.
Great for Vanessa. Open world choicey making RPGs. Etc.
And we are kind of deliberating lifting our 10-year rule, or it has to be an RPG rule. So
Maybe
if those become applicable categories, we will let you guys know.
We could also have, one vote could be not 10-year-old RPG. Huh?
Yeah.
One host could just choose not 10-year-old RPGs for the whole year.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Who would do such a thing?
You guys ever heard of Undertale?
If either of those things sound good to you, you can become a patron at patreon.com/SquareRootsPodcast.
I'm going to read some names.
The reading let me put that into context a little bit.
Yeah.
Every week we another perk, no matter what your patron level is, we will read your Patreon username. Well, we read a smattering of Patreon usernames every week. And Vanessa is going to kick us off this week.
I would like to thank Alex Doulard, a real man of the sea. Hey, Squoots, what's y'all's favorite movie of all time and favorite R&B song? Love, Ron. Labyrinth and As the World Falls Down from Labyrinth. Kristen Ingram, Weirm.
The Thing. Anything by Boyz II Men.
Wait.
Gray Code. Wash in the Wind. Jason Timms, Nawford.
Hold on. I'm gonna say, this is a real tough choice. Being John Malkovich and Are You That Somebody by Aaliyah.
Okay.
Jerry Schreffler, elbow deep in a fruit, scraping the insides
Jim,
out
I
with
guess, is
my
sitting this one out.
hand.
Jim is sitting. Jim, you don't have a favorite movie and favorite R&B song?
I'd say my favorite movie is probably Shattered Glass. Shout out
Chris?
Billy Ray.
Oh, yeah, big shout.
R&B song. John, which did you pick?
I love it when you call me Big Papa. Throw your hands in the air like you's a true player.
Are You That
I love
Somebody
it when you
by
call me
Aaliyah?
Big Papa.
You could do Try Again by Aaliyah. That's a great one.
That is a good one, actually. I like that one. I'll go with that
Or
one.
how about Waterfalls by TLC?
Oh yeah, I was thinking Scrubs. No Scrubs.
No Scrubs.
I'll say no Scrubs. Yeah. That
Well,
slaps.
since y'all are giving serious answers for your R&B song, my favorite is...
That Biggie thing was a joke. Obviously, he's not an R&B artist. He's a hip hop artist.
Giving Him Something
No
He
shade.
Can Feel by En Vogue.
All right.
Oh.
You know what? All good songs.
Mm-hmm.
I did choose
was
an
I?
entire catalog personally, but you know how that goes.
Jerry Schreffler, elbow deep in the fruit, scraping the insides out with my hand. Fusaro, D's nuts, Go Cry Wolf. Christopher Thompson, Is a Diva Cup just a shot glass for vampires? Paul Bursch, our best and handsomest friends, Stan Ferguson, Race Jenkins, Ian Frederick, Cyril the Wolf, friend of DeSoto, Aaron O'Toole, Nathan Poirot, Hudson Roth, Tracy the Borg Queen, and Tree Diddy.
Tree Daddy. He's been showing up. Tree Daddy's been showing up in our streams, which is awesome. Please continue to do that.
He also recently became a Twitch affiliate himself, so give him a follow.
Hey, I don't have
see.
my name's not in here, so I'm going to cover this one. I would like to thank Metal Gear Solid 1 in 2021. Welcome to Cute Boy Jail, Honk Honk, Zachary Train, Justin Ham, Isaac Wright, David Green, Do Good Recklessly, no pithy profile name this week. I'm on a break. Miguel Torres, Chief Hazard wants to hear Matt Vape. Saving Sid, Keita Renee Prince wants to make the world smooth. Stephen Paget, Armand Hammer, Andy Best, Robert T, Amanda Douglas. Stop the shock. See Twitter hashtag for more info. No, stop the shock. Actually, see Twitter for more info. Stop the shock. That's legit. DP2099, Justin Rash, Aaron Bachman, Joshua, W. Broxson, Huxley Iguana, Vanessa's mom leaps from life to life, trying to leap home. Butts on Parade, Stu Skeel, I'm only doing this to vote for Nino Cooney. That's a bummer. Fresh Eyes, Wedge Coon, Grayson, Mike, Citrus C, the unspeakable horror of double baby Fresh Eyes, Adam H, Jameson, Skyrimmer from Red Dwarf, hell yeah, D. Jethro, Mary's Queen of Scoffs, Matt Newland asks, do you want 2 CDs? Yes. Anthony Cruz, Ward Childress, Dr. Fine, say everyone's name, Bree Girth, Magpie Juju, Sean, Brian Pitt, Arthur A., Sean Walsh, The RPG Luminary, and Kevin Walter.
All right, everyone, that's it for this episode of Square Roots. If you'd like to have an email read on the air, you can email us at squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. Come see us at our Facebook group. It's the Square Roots Podcast group for smart, cool, very attractive people. Or you can find us on Twitter at Square Roots Pod.
You can also rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes, Ghana, or wherever you listen to podcasts, and there's a way to give it like a star rating. Hey, also tell your friends about this podcast if they are nerdy and like JRPGs and old weird 20-something nerds talking about games and stuff.
Yeah, 20-something nerds, and if you've already told your friends, go make some new friends and tell them.
Mm-hmm. And also, thanks to Stephen Morris for our Square Roots theme. You can find Stephen on Twitter as Beige on Beige and on YouTube. Links to both are in the show notes. And I would check out Stephen's work. It's really fun.
Thanks, Stephen.
All right, everyone, for Square Roots, I am Jim Banks.
I'm Matthew Van Zant.
I'm Johnny Brandon.
And I'm Vanessa.
Bye.
Well, I'm sure that John has to go to work, but if he wants to hang around for a couple hours, and we can recover the beginning of the show. So here's how I leveled up. I went to Dallas. Does anyone want to talk about that? Jim bailed right when I said that. Jim's my favorite person ever right now. I met Jim's girlfriend. She was very nice. I hung out with Jim's girlfriend's friend Alika, and that was fun. Is that what you guys want to talk about? I have a date this weekend.
I'm just going to stop
I'm texting
recording
with her right now.
now.
Why? Let's talk about how I leveled up. What do you guys want to talk about? John, do you want to talk about how I leveled up? John, Vanessa, are you still recording?
Yeah, but I gotta go
Vanessa,
wash
let's talk about how I leveled up. What did you
hair.
do? What was your level up, Vanessa?
I talked about only murders in the building, but I'm scared to talk about it with you because I'm only a couple episodes in.
I still haven't finished the first season, but that's great. I'm glad that you're watching it. Do you like it so far?
Very much.
That's such a delight. I'm really excited. I really felt like like something you would enjoy. You know?
It's got lots of theater actors in it.
Is it weird that I also recommended it to my mother?
No, I'm watching it with my mother.
You and Molly.
Me and Molly and Vanessa's mom. We love that show. I also watched Dune, which I know you watched as well.
I did. I wanted to know your feelings on that. Actually, did you like it?
I did. I thought that it was maybe a little heavy-handed, but that's just sort of the story. It's a serious
Dune, right?
tragedy Dune story.
Mm-hmm.
It could have done with some levity somehow, either through
I agree.
romance or comedy. But there's no room for it in that Dune story.
All right. One question to leave off on. Who should play the Harkonnen heir in the sequel?
Like the Sting role?
Yes.
Harry Styles.
Harry Styles. Okay.
It's
I
the
like
perfect
that's
shout
such
out
a good answer.
to
Such a perfect answer.
to the British pop star tradition.
Yep.
Harry Styles.
Honestly, didn't think of that. Can't argue with it.
Yeah.
Like my mind's like maybe Benedict Cumberbatch or like somebody cool, but Harry Styles. Okay.
I think he could do it. He's a pretty good actor. I liked him in that 1971.
How fucking hard is acting? You know?
How
It's
hard
basically
is
just looking at a
acting?
camera and being like, I feel things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He feels things all the time, I'm sure.
Vanessa, thank you for leveling up with me. I'm going to end my track now.
You're welcome. Goodbye, Matt.